Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another trade recap. In this week, I'm tuning in with a $2,578 payout. So we almost hit 3K for the weekend. I'm going to talk about why I didn't hit 3K and what I aimed for, where I got out in this specific setup. So this week, I was looking for pretty much shorts all the time. I'm going to be honest, I was looking for a lot of shorts. And the only trade that actually got me a payout this week was a long. So go figure, it's gold, it's been running up. We did take some wins on the $50 challenge, but ultimately, sell side was really rough and hard to trade because genuinely from Sunday's range, we like the market open after the Friday close. We got one of the biggest bullish moves like of the entire month, and I think maybe even the year. Like look at the daily time frame. We got literally one of the biggest bullish candles ever. There was pretty much like no sell side inside of that specific candle. And you guys might learn a new concept here called the Reaper. So you guys know I trade gaps, and coming into this week, I was looking for a lot of like reversals. Typically, I'm trading an Asia or London session on the $50 to 50K challenge, and so like during those times, I'm expecting reversals. I'm obviously looking for it to pull back down because there's a lot of gaps being left, and you guys know I love trading gaps. This is something that the market respects all the time. It always trades from gap to gap, no wick candle to no wick candle, and so like as it's running up, it's constantly creating new fair value gaps and these no wick candles. And these no wick candles are really powerful like confluences that I always aim for. I always see the market coming to take them out before moving higher. Like even in this trade that I took, it left a no wick candle and then came down, took that no wick candle out, and then continued higher. So like you can clearly see that the market does respect those no wick candles. And so like I'm gonna obviously be aiming for those if I see a lot of those being left. And one of the things that I didn't anticipate is how bullish we were going to be this week. We were just like absolutely running towards all-time highs, absolutely pushing, and like now it's kind of clear that we were moving towards like a government shutdown, the dollar's dropping like crazy, and therefore we're just pushing higher and higher. And it was my mistake that I was obviously so oriented on sell side. But finally on my live account, I decided to turn around back above my base balance and take a long. So here we had a lot of pretty much consolidation, right? We pretty much did nothing throughout this move. But one of the things that I learned when I was studying price action is that whenever like there's a gap and then it basically does nothing consolidation, a bunch of these candles get printed in between and there are no relevant gaps except like this one lower, right? We had a lower gap right here. But in this case, I didn't have anything to necessarily use, but I was obviously long. I finally see it leave this range, take out all this highs, and start pulling back down. So when I see it pulling back down, I'm like, okay, we have this gap. This is a Reaper, which means it closed below it and then back above it. So when it closed back above it, I see it literally respect the midpoint perfectly. There was pretty much no lower time frame gaps right there. That 1 hour was the only gap that I saw. Nothing here on the 30-minute. There's no new 30-minute gaps because it was pretty much just consolidating right here. And then finally we saw it start running up. So during New York session, when I saw that tap and start expanding from about like silver bullet time, it ran up, closed above this gap right here, and also tapped back in, using it to go even higher. So from there, I just aimed for the next psychological level, which during all-time highs, you don't necessarily have anything higher, right? This is literally all-time highs. So what do you aim for? One of my favorite targets, and you'll see right here, this is exactly what I aimed for here, 3850. Why? Because it's the next psychological, like big, major psychological level. All of the even numbers like 5, 10, 100, 50, 25, all of those are psychological levels. People aim for levels psychologically where they're like, okay, now I'm going to close my position. Like, I'm going to close my position at 4,000. That would be a huge psychological level. It's probably going to be a target. There's going to be a lot of take profits and sells from 4,000 flat. And so, like, you'll realize that these psychological levels are huge targets. You see that even here we hit into 3,850 and pulled back a little bit. It's a psychological level. A lot of people sell their positions there. And then I'm kind of going to give you guys a trade recap of what to anticipate going forward. That was obviously the trade that I took that made me 2,578. That's just exactly what I made for the day. I remember sending it out in Telegram, and I was like, boys, like I cooked up right here. Finally, switching to longs after going short pretty much the whole time. Now, what I was looking for and like something that I sent out recently in the Telegram was that now we are in October 1st, so the new month first of all, and then we are also in a new quarter. So we got a new 3 month for, or not for value gap, we got a new 3 month candle. And so while previously every single all-time highs was just all-time highs. Now, the fact that we swept all-time highs was not just all-time highs. It was also the previous quarter high and the previous month high. So this is a significant level, and in the Telegram, I said, boys, I'm looking for shorts as soon as we sweep that previous all-time high, pretty much. Previous quarter high, previous month high. And so within the first day of the month, we did end up running up, creating a huge liquidity sweep. And what are we doing? We're pulling back down. I also see here on the 4 hour, we got a nice rebalance. This was something I was using for sells in yesterday's New York session. Because technically for me, it's still Wednesday, so it was this morning for me, but it's already the new daily candle. And I'm honestly anticipating a little bit of a reversal is what I wanted to say. That was a little bit of a tongue twister. And expecting price to pull back down into this monthly rebalance and then obviously a 3-month rebalance as well. So I'm expecting for some major sell side here before we run higher. Now I know that there's government shutdown and all that stuff, but think about the amount of buy side we've already gotten. These things are planned in advance. You're not going to be able to execute on news that you hear right away because genuinely government shutdown, all of this, like you think that it just happened, but they've been talking about this for months. It's always in plan. Like, banks and all the big hedge funds are always layering in their positions. They're ready for moves like this. Whenever the majority of people start buying, they see some major news like this. Gold's obviously a safe haven asset. So what do? They dump price to the discount before it obviously runs higher. So that's what I'm anticipating here. We get some sort of a reversal, at least into a nice higher time frame for value gap. Maybe there's a candle with no wick, like this weekly candle, for example. That one has no wick. I'm anticipating that the market does reverse all the way back down in here, maybe rebalancing the week before running higher. I'm still looking for a lot of buy side. I'm anticipating gold to continue running higher, but for now, we just got a new quarter, we got a new month, we just swept out all-time highs, which was the previous quarter high, previous month high. I'm obviously going to be anticipating a pretty major reversal here before we continue higher. Let's get it, boys. Let's make some money. Thank you all for staying and getting through this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.